those students who took my survey. Now I can record this coding video. So, as you know, week 4, whenever you're watching this, I'm recording it during week 4. You all are doing a great job taking your classmates' surveys. So this is really the time to make sure that you get 10 participants. Everyone needs 10, no more, no less. And if you're having trouble, feel free. I think that you can click on class list if you have this tab, and you can email everyone, or you can post something on D2L. So as you'll notice, week 4, we're trying to get everyone to have 10 participants. Then you have one more source to find. You've done a great job on finding your sources. And then you are going to use the sources and the knowledge that you have of your topic to create what's called a review of literature, which is just a really long introduction. So usually introductions to essays are 1 paragraph. This is going to be really anywhere from 3 to 5 paragraphs, but it's all basically an introduction. You really just need 3 paragraphs, but I'm not going to go into it too much because I have, let's see, oh, no lecture this time. Okay, actually I can then. All right. So I will say this. So the structure, even though every paragraph in a review of literature is part of just a long kind of introduction, basically what you're doing is giving your knowledge about the topic. You know, what's been said about it, what are the interesting questions, what are the arguments, and just kind of your narrative of it. So you'll use basically you'll use 1 quote from each of your 3 sources to include, but you can kind of think of it as an intro, body paragraphs, and conclusion, where your intro just kind of gives a very brief overview of your research questions and your topics. Imagine that no one knows what topic you have and no one knows anything about it. So that's your intro paragraph. And then you go into your body paragraph or paragraphs, which is not a copy and paste of your annotated bibliographies, but it's taking us through kind of a crafted narrative about, not really about your sources, but about your topic. And then you're utilizing your sources to help you talk about your topic in general. So this section is on the more like broader general side. And then your conclusion paragraph, or your last paragraph of this review of literature, it is introducing the fact that you are doing a survey. You're conducting your own work and what you're hoping that you'll find from it, and how it's going to fit into, the literature. Review of literature. Literature usually means novels, right? But literature in this sense, in an academic social science sort of peer-reviewed paper, qual-quant paper, means the text, the research that's out there on your topic. So you're reviewing it, you're kind of summarizing it, but don't use your sources as the main, like, this is what my sources were about. You are just talking generally about your topic, everything we need to know so that we can be on the same page and have a good foundation and context to understand your survey and your results, which is going to come later, which I'm going to talk about in this video. But we can look at the review of literature. I don't know if I could just open it, I guess. Is it in here? Yes, okay, good. Hopefully it just opens quickly. Okay, so everything I kind of said is about that, is on this sheet. But you can kind of read through this example, go ahead and decide on a title. And again, this will just be posted in D2L under the discussion forum. You can kind of read how they did their first paragraph. And then, this middle part, the body paragraphs, I kind of mushed 3 paragraphs together, but if you want to have 3 short paragraphs, that's fine. But you need to have 3 quotes in here. So it doesn't need to be that, well, just think about, try to integrate your sources in a way that makes sense. Like introduce kind of an idea, and hopefully, one or more of your sources will align with that idea and can speak to that idea. So you can kind of think of your last sentence in this paragraph as a thesis statement that addresses your themes. You don't have to have 3 themes like this person did. Like maybe 2 of your sources fit really well together, or maybe they're arguing with each other or something like that. So you can have 2 points if you want, or if you can synthesize it even more closely, just make sure that whether you have 1 paragraph, 1 really long paragraph, or 3 short paragraphs, that the topic flows. Just like you were writing a research paper, you would think about how you want to organize the information. What information do you have about the topic, and how do you want to organize it in the body paragraph? And then you can see that this last paragraph is just talking about the actual survey that is going in the next section that I'm going to talk about, but we have to code our data before we do the next section. You'll mention it in this paragraph. So, try to follow the MLA format for your works cited. Everyone should have 3 entries for their works cited. So if you have any questions or you need me to go over it a little more, let me know. But I don't know why I didn't do a video for that actually. But you can see that after, so this is the week where we're taking each other's surveys, you're doing a good job, then you need to find 1 more source, and then it's the review of literature. So please don't attach anything. So everyone's post is going to be quite long. And again, you can take this, like I said, I tried to combine the 3 paragraphs, but it probably would look better if it were like actually 3 paragraphs. But I tried to put in bold, and you don't have to do this, but I tried to put in bold the themes. So you can have 2 or 3 themes. Just what are the aspects of the topic you want to talk about in general before you get to your survey. So hopefully some people will understand it more than others, and then you can read what other people are doing, or you can read the student example. Okay, so if we look at the syllabus, where is the syllabus? Okay, so what is coming up? So basically week 7, I need to put an announcement down for week 7, but the video that I'm making right now will be on week 7. So basically, once you get your 10 participants, I'm going to show you in this video what to do with that information. We have to do something that's called coding, which is basically just making sure that of all of our information, that the information that comes from each of our questions, let's say, we can get percentages out of it. We can turn it into a number. So your quantitative questions, the ones that were multiple choice or check boxes, those are already going to be converted into numbers. So we're just going to have you make some observations about those. But the qualitative questions, the write-in questions, those are the ones we really have to focus on, because their SurveyMonkey can't calculate that for you. And then week 8 is doing the kind of putting your coding into an essay form, like putting your information from your survey plus your best participant quotes into an essay form. But actually it'll sort of look like the review of literature post. But we won't do that actually until week 9. Week 8 is just going to be you posting an outline. You're going to do an outline of this section. So weeks 8 and 9, this has to do with one section. It's just we're going to outline this section before we actually flesh it out into an essay, if that makes sense. So I'll make a separate video, I think, unless I just talk about it. I might talk about it in this video, I don't know. And then the last part is just write an abstract. So again, I'll have information and example about that. But basically the abstract is the summary of the entire paper. And like when you go to conferences, it's the paragraph that you give everyone like on a printout that's what they have. They can't read your whole paper, but they read an abstract which kind of explains and summarizes every section. And if you are reading academic articles, which all of you should be, right? At the top of every page, that's the little paragraph that's kind of set apart. That is the abstract. So you already have examples, and that's going to be your last post, except for the goodbye post. So we are, I would say halfway done. So just really quickly looking at this results section, like I said, it's going to be the other kind of like the second essay you're about to do once you finish taking people's surveys and then get your third article. You're about to write the short essay that is the review of literature. The results and discussion looks kind of similar. But you'll need to put and organize somehow in a coherent way the most important statistics that you have and the most important quotes you have, and find some way to sort of organize it. And obviously you can indent the paragraphs so it looks more traditional. But basically it's also 5 paragraphs. I don't think that you can. I think that these paragraphs, though, these body paragraphs will have to be longer than the review of literature paragraphs, just because you do have your participant quotes and you probably have a lot to say about them, but it's up to you. Okay, so if you want to kind of do this with me, you can. I don't know if you can, set up your own Word document. I'll show you what we have to do, kind of like in math. You have to do, they always say like show your work. Well, I'm going to show you how to do the work for the final calculations that you will post on D2L. So it's going to kind of look a little messy at first. So you'll just want to click on your survey and analyze the results. So another thing is that you'll want to, so you can go to your individual, we're not going to go, I'm just showing you this really quickly, but we're going to go to the question summaries for coding. But you have 10 participants. You need to give each of the participants that you are actually going to quote in your paper in the results and discussion, you need to give them pseudonyms, which means fake names. No one's given you their name anyway, but you need to assign a name. You can, if you asked their gender, you could do like a traditionally gendered name if you want, or you can give everyone sort of a neutral name. It doesn't matter. There's no real rhyme or reason. It's just so we can humanize our participants. But to do the coding, we need, and a code is basically a summarization. So what we're going to do is we're going to write quant on the first part, and we're going to write qual on the second. And you need to just copy your quant questions and then your qual questions. So my first one was age, and you can see I have statistics right here, right? Oh, and every one, no, okay, yeah, sorry, I wasn't looking looking at the right thing. Okay, so gender, question 2. So I'm going to say Q2, gender. So you don't have to write out the whole questions. So what is your major? It looks like for me that was I had it as a write-in, didn't I? Okay. All right, well, even though it was a write-in, it's going to be super easy to, calculate, so I'm going to just put it as a quant. You can kind of make that decision for yourself. Okay, Q4, definitely a qual, right? So what did Q4 ask? Yeah, I'm going to have to just copy and paste this question, I think, because it is more complicated. So yeah, so I would say, copy and paste your questions, make it look nice and uniform. So this is the first part. We're just setting up our questions, and then we're going to introduce the second step. So if you want to go ahead and open a Word document and start, you can pause this video, I guess, or pause it when I get finished with this. So I would say main reading challenges to kind of summarize, because I have statistics. Q6 was a qualitative, but you kind of see what I'm doing, right? I'm just going through first and dividing the qual from the quant. So it's a little bit of copying and pasting for this step and for another step. Q7 for me was quant. Let's see, literature class. And Q8 was a write-in, was qual. I know the words quant and qual sound kind of the same, right? But quant comes from quantify. You can easily quantify it. Qual comes from quality or qualitative. And that's like you get substantive answers. Okay, and let's see. Q9 is asking about reading techniques, so I can remember that with just the word technique. And then Q10 is a qual. All right. Okay, so once you do this, we're just going to do our quant first, because this sheet of work is going to be kind of long. You'll post most of the quant on D2L. For the qual, you'll post the questions and then the percentages that we find and figure out. Okay, so we're not going to really copy and paste anything else. We're just going to kind of, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. Okay. All right, so the ones that are 0%, if they come before, like at the extremes, you don't really have to write down. It doesn't make sense. So I had from 22 to 25, so I'm going to write down my categories that had people. 22 to 25, I think it was 10%, and 26 plus was 80%. So let's see, where's my percent? Okay, so we're missing one. So if you did a write-in answer, you can click on their responses. Okay, so my 9th person, because I had one person who didn't put themselves in a category, they wanted to be specific. They were 42, but that still means they're older than 26, so I'm gonna add that. So you just have to make sure that if you have 10 people, and everyone should, that your percentages, at least on the multiple choice, always add up to 100. And you don't have to do any division or anything, because if you have 10, then it's really easy to count each person just as a 10%. Okay, so age is this. So you always need to do what's called a calculation and conclusion. So we'll just write conclusions. And then this is just a sentence. This is just your observation. So if if one of my participants was in the 22 to 25 range, and then the rest were 26 or older, then I would say, I don't have a super young participant pool, right? So all of my participants So really, I can just add these up and say they're all 22 or older. But then, let's see. Actually, I guess you have to decide what is most understandable. So maybe most of my participants are age 26 or older, because there's just one person that's younger than 26. So, or what's the grammar on that? Most of my participants are aged. I guess that's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Okay. So, your English teacher is asking about grammar. I don't know, it just sounds awkward. But anyway, communication is the gist, right? Okay, so I didn't have any written responses. Everyone chose either male or female. So I'm going to put, again, my possibilities, and then I had 20% and 80%. 20% and 80%. And then again, what are my conclusions? And all of this you will post on D2L, this part what we're doing right now, under the quant section. So I would say most of my participants are female. And so what do you do if most of your participants aren't a particular thing? Then you just have to think about how to articulate it so you can communicate your numbers. All right, so like I said, I had people write it in. So what I'm going to do first is try to make some categories and put people in it. So I'm going to have to write down everything that people said, and if I get, a person that goes into, sorry, I can't spell and talk at the same time, although I'm trying. Okay, I have to, anthropology. You see what I'm doing though. Okay, BA in Human Services with emphasis on social. Human Services. I wonder if that's psychology. I don't know what Human Services is. But social and I don't know. I guess we'll just write it out. Education. And then I'm going to write, maybe I have to Google this, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, so this one's pre-nursing, this one's nursing. So I'm going to put 3 because I already had one person, right? Every time you write a category down, that's one person. So I'm going to go ahead and add pre-nursing and nursing to the first nursing person and get 3. Paramedic. Okay, I'm going to put paramedic in here too, and I'm going to change this to medicine. So paramedic, you're going into medicine. Bachelor of Science in Nursing, so we have another medicine. Physics. We want to have as few, okay, and then we have pre-nursing. Okay. We want to have as few categories as we can. All right, so education is one, anthropology is one. I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up. Services degree. Human services. I should really pause this. Okay. Oh, here we go. What is a human services major? It's interdisciplinary, social structures, helping those in need. Okay. So are you going to be a psychologist? I guess you're going to work with people. Okay. I don't know if that helps me. Anthropology, physics. I mean, I don't know if we can put, I just like want to reduce my categories because otherwise we're going to have 6, 1, 1, and 1, and 1. I mean, physics is kind of like science. Anthropology would be humanity. Yeah, these are also different. Okay, I guess we just, I don't know how to, I can't really combine them. So, oops. So, okay, so 60%, but that's fine. We have most people. So we still have a majority. So we're going to put our percentages. That's a cool major, though. I'm going to have to see, and this is why at this point I wish that I could talk to whoever that is and ask you. Okay, sounds cool, though. It sounds like you can do a lot with it. All right, so my conclusions is that most of my participants are in the field of medicine. All right. That might not be the best way to put it, but that is what I'm doing. Okay, so now I have a, and maybe you could do better than I did, but that's what I can do right now. All right, so now I'm going to skip question 4. I'm going to go to question 5. And I had the main reading challenges. So I'm going to put, again, my options. My option was time, motivation. I'm going to go ahead and put money. That's interesting that no one put money, but I don't know. Maybe if you read as much as I do, it would be money. I would put money because it doesn't keep me from reading, but it keeps me from reading as much as I want. And then we have other. Okay, so I have my 3. So time, time was 100%. See, we already have 100%. Motivation is 20%. So it's okay that it doesn't, check boxes don't need to add up into anything. And then money was 0%. I just think that's interesting. And then we have to look at our responses to see if we can put them in a category or if they have to go into their own category. Okay, so family and kids. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, family, kids, 20%. Although then that kind of messes up my, I realize that is maybe a limitation. I should have put, because I think that family and kids would be time, but it also could be that there's just no quiet. There's not like a, you know what? Now I'm realizing my question was not good because, well, my question was good, but my answers were not good. So, oh well, we'll just have to deal with it. I just wonder if the people who chose family and kids also chose time. Okay, but it doesn't matter. So, okay, so we work with what we have, right? So conclusions, all of my participants felt time was a challenging factor in reading for pleasure. I'm just going to write also money was not a challenge or a factor, I guess I could put factor. Other challenges that were mentioned included motivation and family kits. You know, because the conclusions are basically the notes that you might want to reflect on to flesh out. You know, I'm probably going to flesh out why I think maybe family and kids could be a problem and why time could be a problem. Like, you know, I'm going to have to do all that. Okay, so that is, but you kind of see what I'm doing. Like if my responses fit more into, I just don't think they fit into motivation or time. I think it's more of like a distraction maybe, but you know, you have to make some assumptions. And I'm going to skip question 6. Then have you taken a literature class? We also had a response here. I have. I haven't, but definitely will. Okay. So what are we going to do for this one to simplify? And again, if you kind of get the gist of what I'm doing, you can skip ahead. Or you can pause and do your own sheet and then skip ahead. But we're going to copy and paste all of this and put it on D2L. Well, actually, yeah, I think so. I think people will be interested in seeing it. And then maybe people can give you feedback. Okay, so yeah, we'll copy and paste all of it. But just make sure you do the conclusions at the end of each question. All right, so literature class. So the first one was, I haven't and probably won't. So I'm going to write no, will never. No and will never was 40%. That's quite a lot of people. All right. Haven't but might. Okay. No, might was that 10%? 10%. I have and I liked it. Oh, that's kind of many people as well. All right. So now we have yes, liked, 30%. And do we have anyone for the last one? Oh, we had one person. Okay. Yes, didn't like was 10%. And so how many do we have? Let's add this up just to see. 70, 80, 90. Okay, yes, this last person only wrote something in. So I haven't, but definitely will. Oh, I didn't have that as an option. Okay, all right. Well, whoever that was caught me. All right. Okay, so will. Okay, so now we have to figure out how to talk about this. Conclusions. Okay, so that equals, well, yeah, kids, that was a multiple choice. So it equals 100%. Good. Okay, I'm telling myself good. I have to be self-congratulatory. And sorry this video is going to be kind of long, but coding, that is the nature of coding. Okay, so this no will never, I think, I'm just going to highlight this for myself. That's a pretty firm category. And yes, but didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe they would be in the same category because it's kind of, you know, anti-literature class. I wonder if I can talk about these two groups together. Yes, I did, but I didn't like it. No, will never. This is 10%. Okay, so, well, at least the people who have never taken a literature class, 60%. Most of my participants, and I'm just going to write 60%, because It's not added anywhere. All right, so here's my nose. I'm going to highlight them together. Have never taken a literature class. And like I said, you don't have to write down everything. So I think that's actually all I'm gonna, because the people who did 30% and then didn't like it. Yeah, I mean, whether they like it or not, maybe now I'm really realizing is not important to me. So I think I'm just going to say most of my participants have never taken a literature class because I can talk about that. Okay, and then we have one more, techniques. Okay, I had a lot of, so you see what I'm doing? I'm kind of just putting my information down on this paper, and then I'm trying to make sense of it. I'm trying to pull something interesting out of it. All right, so study with me videos. I wonder, study with me videos, and then what was this? Study reading group. Oh, I think I can put those two categories together, actually. Okay. I'm gonna say with others is one category. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm gonna just go ahead and combine. Oh wait, what am I doing? I'm just gonna go ahead and combine study with me videos on YouTube and a study reading group because it's kind of with people even though it's virtual and not. So study with me videos are 20 and reading group is 10, so I'm going to say with others is 30%. Okay, active reading, I'm just going to write actually annotating because that makes more sense to me. Was what? Oh, 50%. That's good. Good for you all. That's a great thing. Okay, going to a coffee shop was 40%. Okay, I would say, I'm just going to write coffee shop and I'm going to have to make that a little more general in my actual paper. 40%, so something to do with social environment, I guess. Or maybe I can just say that. Okay, social environment. I don't know. No, I'm just gonna say coffee shop. Okay, I should have done something different. All right, none of these is 10. Nothing would help me. No one put that. Oh, and someone wrote something down. Oh, actually 4 people wrote things down. Okay. All right, well, let me put this none. None of these was 10%. Okay, and how many was this? This was, okay, 130. Okay, so we're, okay, at my job, I have someone that is taking the same class, so we'll read together. Oh, okay, that's good. I'm going to, see, now I don't know if this person who said at my job I have someone who's taking the same class would also already put a study reading, but I'm just gonna have to guess that they didn't. So I'm gonna put this person as with others, reading at night before bed. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put environment and then in parentheses, coffee shop, bed, like a specific place. And then I'm gonna add this person. Reading along with an audiobook. Okay, that, I wonder if, audiobook. Actually, maybe that isn't a new category. I mean, it is a tool. Yeah, okay, for sure. And then finding an area. Oh, okay, great. That's environment. Love it. All right. So I could be wrong again, but especially if some people already picked a category and then they were just being more specific, but it's a checkbox one and not a multiple choice, so we'll just have to hope that I'm coding it correctly. Okay, we all just have to do the best we can. Okay, so 60% said an environment was important. I wonder if annotating an audiobook could kind of go together, because a lot of people annotate. I mean, I guess they're all important. Okay, so I'm going to say, sorry, and this is my last one, so we'll quickly move on. But what should I do with others? Okay, I'm going to say most people articulated place of reading as important, followed by, because place, that is a place, coffee shop is a place. Even though they might have different, sometimes people go to coffee shops for reasons other than place, but I think it's articulated place of reading, same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna write 60% here, followed by making notes and studying reading with others. Okay, so those are my, because 60%, 50%, 40%, those were the highest. So that's what I'm going to put. And then I'm going to comment one more thing. Most people articulated. Most participants. And I'm going to say 90% because only one person said none. Found some kind of strategy to help one read for pleasure. Okay, which is pretty positive. I like that. That's good. Okay, so that is that. So we are going to copy and paste this whole thing and put this on D2L so people can see it. So we're going to do some copying and pasting of these qualitative, all your participant answers. So you won't need to post everything on D2L, all the answers, but you have to copy and paste all the answers for yourself to do like that kind of show your work for your math, right? Except you're not really showing anyone, you're just doing it for yourself. Okay, so let's start with question 4. So each question takes a long time, but I'm going to show you how to set up all of them, but I might not code all of my questions if that makes sense. Okay, so what you need to do is copy and paste all of these responses. Copy, paste, and then just, we're going to have to delete some things. So keep text as, and we're going to have to number them. All right, so this is my first one. I'm going to delete the information of time. This is my second one. Third, so you see how I'm kind of making it look, and you're going to want to keep this because you'll want to refer to it also when you're doing one of your sections. It's kind of fun though. Once you finish setting everything up, you can start coding and kind of look at what people are saying, and it's kind of fun to see everything come alive when you do the actual calculations. Okay, so every question should have 1 through 10 with all of your participants. I should say that you can't assume that your number 1 for every question is the same person. You'd really have to go to individual responses for that to see what each person, all their answers on all their questions, because you could have had, a couple of people taking it at the same time, and so they finished each question in a different order. So maybe the person that answered this on number 1 is number 5 on number 6, if that makes sense. So don't try to compare all your ones together, because unless you check it, you double check it. Okay, so we have to do that with every question. So we're going to skip to question 6, and we are going to copy and paste. And just do the same thing. So if you want to, you can pause this, you can skip ahead. You can do this part on your own. I'm just going to do the exact same thing to show you that you have to do it, basically. So you don't think you only have to do one question. So you can leave this video on, but this is going to take me about 10-ish minutes, I think. So you're going to see that it takes kind of a long time to set up. But I promise the more orderly and organized and like aesthetically pleasing it looks, the easier it will be for you to code. So you're not in some sort of mess. But I mean, if you don't need to use this technique for some reason, you don't have to, I guess, but this is really the proper way to do it. Okay, actually, I'm not going to do 8 and 10 because it will take a long time. But you have to, just make sure that you do all your questions, right? So you should have, let's see. Oh, what did I just do? So you should have question 4, question 6, question 8, and question 10. Should all have 10 people and 10 answers. And then you're going to go back, and now you can finally code. So basically what coding means is, just like up here we had categories and percentages and conclusions, we need to have that for this. So for every, you're not going to copy and paste all the participants on D2L. You're just going to copy and paste your categories, percentages, and calculations. So we're going to have categories, we're going to have conclusions for all of these. So again, I'll just do 1 or 2. All right, so my question is, do you read for pleasure? Oh, and you need to copy and paste your questions. We know what question it is. Okay, so do you read for pleasure? If so, what do you read? How frequently? Why? Etc. So let's see what people say. And again, we just want to come up with categories that are, reasons and that align with this. So we had no's and yeses. So how many no's did we have? We have 1 no, 2 no's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is yes. Okay, so I might have to have 2 categories. So no is 20%, and yes is 80%. And then what else? But I'd like to, I have a toddler that melts down if I even, okay. So I'm gonna write family out here. Yes, twice a week, yes and no. Anything that I don't have to think about. Thrillers. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of reading through all the answers and seeing if I can get a gist of what other categories I can create. I mean, this kind of might be enough, but I'll see. Okay, so I want to. That's so cute though. Maybe maybe the toddler will soon like books. All right, let's see, yes and no. Oh, this was yes and no. We'll just write yes. I like to read anything that I don't think about. Thrillers, because I enjoy it 2 to 3 times a week. Murder mysteries. I like to read fiction. Typically. That's interesting. Okay, I mean, these are all good reasons. But I think actually I'm just going to say, and this person was a no, but I'd like to. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to actually code the rest. I think that is enough. So I would say most of my participants I really have to sound out words when I spell. Okay, most of my participants do read for pleasure. And I'm going to actually say 90% or would like to. Because one of my no's says that they would like to. So they try. I think that counts. All right, so categories and conclusions. Yes is 80%, but I'm adding one person to my conclusion. Most of my participants read for pleasure, would like to. That's pretty impressive. Good job, everyone. Okay, so, yeah, and the one person who said no had a really good reason. So yeah, so everyone, I think is good. Okay, so let's see. So really what you'll need to, and I'll post an announcement with an example. You just need to do your categories, your conclusions, and your question on D2L. You can leave out the actual participants' responses. Okay, let's see if this is a better example for coding, a little more complicated. Because if you ask a yes, no, a lot of times that's really all you want to do. But if I did need another category, if I did see, maybe one of my categories would be lots of books. And then, I have other categories. So you can have 2 sets of statistics for any question if you want. I just didn't see any patterns in there just really quickly, and I don't know, I'm not sure I could say anything. There's just like a lot of diversity. I mean, I guess people did twice a week. Yeah, see, this person didn't say frequency, this person. So it's kind of hard if you have a stacked question and not everyone answers all of the questions, which is, going to happen. Okay, so what is the last book that you read that wasn't assigned? How old were you? What did you like or not like about it? So again, I'm just going to read this before I put my categories down. I'm going to see if I can just kind of get a gist of what the categories will be. You can, though, put your summary at the end of each participant and then see that way. But let me see if I can just do it quickly. Okay, so Harry Potter, love the story and the characters. I've never read this one. The Boy at Whistle Stop Cafe. All right. Men Cry in the Dark. I also haven't heard of that one. Interesting. All right, 5 love languages. Can't remember, don't remember. The Bible, Murder, Circe, and the Odyssey is my favorite story. And 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Okay. How can I organize or divide up people? This might take a little more work for me because I might have to go back to I might have to go to individual responses on this if I want to see the last time they read a book and go through each. Oh, because I didn't ask for specific. Because I was thinking I could look at what their age is and then look at their question to calculate how long ago they read a book, but I don't know specific ages because I asked age ranges. I guess I could do categories by genre, except I don't know all of these books. I'm guessing that, well, Harry Potter, but I'm guessing that the other 2 are novels. This one seems like nonfiction. Religious, a novel, and a novel. Okay, I guess that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so now I'll show you how I write it out. You could just count, or like I could count, okay, 1, 2, 3, where's my next novel? 4, 5 is a novel, and 6. So most of the reading for pleasure are novels. Of course, I didn't ask overall, I just said the last book that wasn't assigned. But if you don't want to just count quickly, you could put your codes at the end. And then count that way. I mean, either way, you just need to count. I mean, this was a novel and then kind of, yeah, okay. Novel, and then this is a novel. Okay, so I know that my categories, at least one category is novel, right? So how many did I say? Did I say 6? Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay. 60% read novels and maybe like contemporary novels. I don't know. I'd have to look up the books. So novels. Most people like novels. And then we had a religious text. And we had, is there anything else? 60, 70. I feel like I skipped one. Oh, nonfiction. Nonfiction was one. And then we had 2 people who can't remember. So can't remember is 20%. Okay, great. So those are my categories because that's what I just felt I could divide everyone up in, is genres. So I didn't necessarily, did I ask? I just asked what it was, but so I am putting them into genres. Conclusion, I would say most of my participants read for pleasure. Read novels, fiction for pleasure. And how many was that? 60%. And only 2 of my participants, 20%, couldn't remember the last time they read for pleasure. So most participants, 80%, so the inverse would be true, right? If 2 couldn't remember, 8 could. So most participants, 80%, had read a book for pleasure. I'm going to say recently. Because I don't know, I can't tell. I asked for the ages, but then I didn't realize. I should have just asked, like, how long ago was it? Like, not how old you were. So, but this is, even I learned, right? I've done a lot of these surveys, so but I do try to do a new project each time, so it's just, I'm doing it kind of new because I kind of want to be the perspective of you all, the students, so you can see what's easy and what's not easy. Okay, so that's my conclusion. All right, so I would say at this point, if you kind of get what I'm doing, then you don't need to watch the video. I'm going to extend this video and do my questions 8 and 10 in case people need to see more examples. But if you get the gist of what I'm doing, and again, you're just going to highlight for your qual and put on D2L, but you'll see an example because I'll post it, your question, and then your categories and conclusions. But your quant is different, right? You're going to copy and paste all of this, all of the quant, but just some of the qual. All right, thank you everyone. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions about coding, but coding is week 7, I think. All right, thank you all. All right, and for those of you who are staying, let's finish this together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and since I did it before, I'm going to copy and paste my question 8, just making sure. And thank you all again for, answering my survey. So I could also do this. All right, paste this. Keep text only. And let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking I should have asked the exact age of everyone. That would have been a lot smarter, I think, than doing an age range. I think maybe if you have like a lot of participants, age ranges are good. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna finish setting up and then I'll code. Okay, so we have this question now. Copy and paste. I think the setup just looks cute. Like it looks so organized and wonderful. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 6, 7. I have to say that literature classes are so much fun. They're just like a book club. At least my classes are. I think I might be teaching an online literature class in the fall. I have to check. Some of our classes, some of the faculty's classes have been hidden, so students can't see them because they're trying to get the most number of students they can in all the classes. So they just want to show some of them at a time. It's a new thing that the school is doing, and the faculty don't like it, actually, because we want all our classes to be public so we can tell our students about it. So I don't know. I have to check. If I am teaching a literature class in the fall, it'll be asynchronous online, and I'll let you know. But I love literature classes because honestly, most professors, I do, try to pick out enjoyable readings, and you're just reading and then writing your comments, your thoughts about them. Okay, so let's look at this. All right, so question 8, do you think that reading is becoming less popular? All right, so I'm going to put my categories and my conclusions. I'm just going to do that for my next question too. Categories and conclusions. Okay. So I definitely think that everyone will answer that question. So I'm going to write less popular. So I'm just going to count these. Less popular is 1, 2. Okay, actually I might have to write this down. This is going to be kind of difficult. All right, I would guess that it's becoming less popular, less in technology. And I'm going to bold this so I can see it really easily. All right, yeah, I think it's too complicated for me just to count. All right, so no, because we know tech counts as reading. Less, because once you start college, all you do is read. Oh, okay. This is kind of college specific, so that makes sense though, because I read for pleasure a lot less whenever I was in college as well. All right, staying the same as always. Okay, so I would say, yeah, I'm just gonna write same, but I was thinking about writing no change. Hard to say, but I think reading is popular because of the creative and interesting. Reading, okay. Okay, I think this one is more. It's more popular. Cool. Okay, so this one is less in tech. I'm going to say this one is also less in tech. So the reason that reading is less popular is because of technology. Reading is, okay, this one is, all right, everyone's saying the same thing. Good for coding. And reading has become less popular. All right, less in tech. Although they do get, this is a good response. I might use this for my paper. And I guess that's the other thing that you can look at if you can think about more than one thing at once, is which quotes are really good. I like this quote though. I'm going to highlight this quote because I might use it in my paper. Okay, let's just It's like one of the first quotes that stood out to me. I mean, well, my other questions are not really quote worthy, honestly. Actually, this one was good. I like to read fiction and it helps calm anxiety, and actually that was good. I liked this one, and I thought this quote was good too. I liked this one. But I don't think it really fits. Who else did? Okay, that's true. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so I like those. All right, so let's finish. I did assume that reading was becoming less popular, but I was surprised. Book talk. Okay, that's true. Okay, we have more. Yeah, and both really said more for marketing. All right. Oh, and this was no because we read. Okay, so I'm going to change this to same. Yeah, because it's either so less popular, more popular, and the same. So now I can count easily. So for my less, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 60%. I thought it would be a little more, but all right, more popular, 1 and 2, 20%. And so that means the same as 20%. Okay, interesting. Okay, and then I can just kind of see the reasons. Actually, okay, I'm going to write it out. Okay, tech in a negative way. So who said less tech? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 50% feel that technology is hurting. And then college specific negative was 10%, just so I remember. And what else? Those who said the same were, what was the second person that said the same? Some people read, some people don't. And same because technology counts. Okay, and then more because of marketing. Actually, let's be parallel here. Marketing is positive. I'm going to say 20%. People who said more, that's 50, 60, 70, 80. And then we haven't coded, we haven't put a category for the people who said same. Let's see, same. I don't know. Okay, I think that's fine. I'll remember it if I need a conclusion about it. And I did think everyone's responses were really interesting. Actually, this one's a really good quote too. For the other side, right? They're both really good. Okay, so my conclusions are that while most, I'm going to say while, yeah, most participants, 60%, felt that pleasure reading has become less popular, I would say 40%, because 20 was more and 20 was the same. 40% of my participants felt it, I guess we can just say. Reading popularity has either not changed or has risen. Okay, yeah. So while most of my participants felt that pleasure reading has become less popular, 40% of my participants felt reading popularity has either not changed or has risen. Both those who felt I'm going to say participants felt or mentioned, participants articulated both positive and negative aspects of technology concerning popularity. Because I would say like the marketing seems with technology. Like it has to do with technology. So actually, 50, 60, 70, 80. Actually, we have tech for positive, and so I would say this no here needs to be added actually to tech as positive. It still doesn't add up to 100. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. I think, yeah, this person. General. Okay, so we can't put them anywhere. So yeah, so basically 50% of my participants felt that technology was detrimental, but 30% felt like it was actually helpful. Or, okay, yeah, so that'll be a good conclusion because it'll lead me into some of my quotes and being more specific. Okay, great. Love it. All right, so if you want to watch me do my last one. Okay, in an ideal world, what kind of reader would you like to be? Ideally, I would read every day. This one says avid. To be honest, I would like to read books like 50 Shades of Grey. Let's see, you should do it. You could read that book. Go for it. Okay, a reader. So this is maybe like a kind of a reader. Okay, so I'm going to say frequent. I'm going to call this a genre. So what are the different kinds of goals, right? So I would, yeah, I don't know what my categories are going to be, but so far I think I can say that ideas of ideal reading have to do with frequency and maybe a type of reader, like types of books. A reader on inspirational books. Okay, good. I think that's genre. Nonfiction, to learn about something, I would say genre. I'm mean, you could also do different categories. Like this person says nonfiction reader to learn about something. So what are the different things like self-development, inspiration? This person said creativity. I just think that, so you could be more specific like that. Reader, crime thrillers all week. So I think this one mentions a genre, but I think this was the same person who said they just generally like reading mysteries, so I'm going to put it as frequency. They just want to read more of them, which is awesome. I enjoy reading books that help me with life or commentaries. Okay, good. I think, oh no, this wasn't frequency, this was genre. Okay, I would like to increase my reading. I'm going to say frequency. Okay. I would read every day, epics and classics. I have, Journey to the West is one book that we look at in world literature. I have problems finding a book. Okay, ideally I would read every day. I think this is more about frequency than kind of books, maybe. Because I think they already like the classics, so it's not really a change. Okay, this person is genre. It's so exciting when I can just find categories. Okay, so we have frequency and genre was our two. Everyone fit into it. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%. Really? Maybe, okay, we'll see. One genre is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, look at that. So even. Okay. All right. So I would say in thinking of their ideal reader selves, half of my participants mentioned they would simply like to read more, while the other half mentioned goals of a particular genre. So, yay, that's great. Okay, so thank you everyone who stayed with me. So again, I will post this and I will post the actual example of what everything looks like when it is on D2L. But this kind of sets you up for your the next section. Well, the section that you will write first is your review of literature. But when we get to after we finish that, we're going to do the results and discussion, and this will be something that you refer back to. All right, well, let me know if you have any questions or anything at all. Thanks for coding with me, and yeah, keep it up. You are all doing such a great job.